I'm probably gonna join in a little late. My download's going a little slow.
Okay.
Hi guys.
You can still
We're
talk
live.
yet. Oh hi.
All right.
What's your name?
All right.
Who are you? What am I?
Okay. Introductions. My name is M238.
Hi, I'm King J04. I ran Celeste yesterday.
Hello, I am Pretend to Know. I also run Super Luigi U.
All right. Okay. So you guys are gonna be you're gonna be watching a 100% run of New Super Luigi U. And I got something pretty special to show off. If I can pull off a deathless run, which is highly unlikely because I'm gonna be expecting to die a lot. This is probably the least safe category you could run at a marathon of this game. So so time does not start until I start moving on the map. So are you two ready?
I think we're ready.
Yes?
Yes.
Okay. Alright. Hello everyone. This is New Super Luigi U for the Nintendo Wii U. This is the DLC for New Super Mario Bros. U, and the category I'm running is 100%. So, most people who are familiar with watching New Super Luigi U speedruns are familiar with the any percent category, which is about 30 minutes long. This category, 100%, is 2.5 hours long, and so what differs 100% from any percent is that you have to get, in order to get 100%, you have to get 5 stars in your file. That includes beating the game, beat every single level, get all the secret exits, get all the star coins, catch Nab in every world, and then at the end of the game, there is a bonus world called the Superstar Road, which is also required for 100%. So there is quite a lot to do in this game, and hopefully we can do all of it in less than 2.5 hours. Yeah.
Yeah, and even though this is a DLC campaign for New Super Mario Bros. U, it is its own copy of a game. Like, it has its own physical as well and stuff like that you can go out and pick up.
Yeah, it's $20 on eShop.
Yeah. And also, this game compared to New Super Mario Bros. U, like, the same layout is the same. Like, you have the same worlds and the same levels with all secret exits.
The first level starts off really difficult. There is a triple jump, a very precise triple jump I need to do right off the bat, followed by a 3-frame ground pound in order to get the first star coin. And if I don't get it, then my cycle's gonna be off. So time's going to begin. Ready, and go.
Here we go.
Hey, where's Toadette? Luigi's in this game?
You're not playing as the best character. What are you doing?
Alright, we got that.
Oh, nice. You got it?
Yes.
Yeah, so that triple jump he did was really tight at the beginning.
Yeah,
like you said.
And one important thing.
I'm gonna take that
really
save.
moving
Okay,
that
so you can get a 78 at the end of this level, but it's like really precise, and it's really hard to judge whether you're gonna get it. So I just not worth losing 15 seconds right off the bat.
Yeah, what he's saying is if he gets double digits at the end of each level, he will get fireworks, and he'll talk to Toad, and he'll give him an item, and it'll take approximately 15 to 20 seconds.
Yeah. There's like once or twice we want to do that for superstars that help with overworld enemies, but other than that, the only other time we would want to see fireworks is if we run out of acorns, which shouldn't happen.
You get a lot of acorns in this game. Don't worry about it.
So I got that star right in the beginning of the level. Stars increase your movement speed, as well as allow you to tank through a bunch of enemies. And then I chained the next star block, which can only contain a star if you hit it while you have a star, in order to like tank through more enemies. And then I did that ground pound. It's this is a very obscure secret exit, which is going to allow me to head over to 1-secret. So coming up is the first instance where we switch to Nabbit. So Nabbit's a new character introduced into New Super Luigi U. To play as Nabbit, you hold ZL on the gamepad or the B button on the Wii remote, and Nabbit can't die. So in levels where there's a lot of enemies, we use Nabbits quite a bit in order to just run through a lot of the enemies.
Yeah. There will still be plenty of Luigi though, because Nabbit can't pick up items, so especially when it comes to flying with the acorn suit, Luigi will be covering those levels.
Also, shout outs to all those Nabbit only runners. This is for you. Because yes, there is a category where you only play as Nabbit, and categories where you only play as Luigi.
So you need really precise swimming movement to get out of that first star coin without getting eaten by that guy. Nabbit can die from that big fish. So we made it just fine.
Yeah. Nabbit not being able to die is a bit of an exaggeration. There are still things that can kill him. It's just a lot fewer things.
Yeah, just not as much. And yeah, that's a pretty easy level, so.
Okay. This is where the route starts to get really different than what many people are probably familiar with in like traditional 100% routes. So we're actually going to be moving into World 5 right away, and we're going to be doing 5-1 and then go back to World 1. And we're going to explain after 5-1, but we just know that we're going to be going all over the place in this route.
Yeah, also another thing to point out with Nabbit is that sometimes he will choose to use Nabbit in levels he knows he's going to get a double digit at the end, because Nabbit can't get fireworks.
Yes.
And you just hold the ZL button while you select to play the level, and then you play as Nabbit. Also, shout out to Meavers.
Yeah, Meavers dead. This also introduces different control schemes.
Yeah.
So, in this game, you can use a Wii remote, a Pro Controller, or the gamepad. I'm using the gamepad just for save menus, text boxes, and item menus.
Nintendo really pushed that touch screen for efficiency, so a lot of Wii U games need the gamepad in speedruns, because touching the screen is the best thing to do, is the fastest thing to do.
Yeah. And again, we're using Nabbit in this stage because there's, specifically for the second star coin, where there's going to be a lot of,
enemies.
A lot of enemy spawn. Also, shoutouts to that hidden Luigi he saw under a block. There's like 85 of these hidden throughout like the entire game.
Yeah, there's one in every level, but some of them you are really hard to find.
Some of them you need fireworks in order to see them.
Yeah.
But
I know there's at least one you need a PA to see.
Yes, there is.
I don't remember
but you will not be seeing that you will not be seeing every single Luigi tribute in this game.
Yeah, an interesting strat he did there. He ground pounded a shell, a Koopa, so that it would fire faster. Just a small optimization.
All right, so Toad here is going to let us know that a character named Nabbit has stole stuff, and I like to joke that we're on a date, we don't have time for that, but in this run we do have time for that because it is required for 100%. So there is another way to activate this cutscene, and that is by going to World 2, but activating it here in World 5 is much faster, and it saves a lot of overworld time. So we're gonna go catch Nabbit 1 right off the bat.
If you activate it in World 2, Toad will actually pop out of the Toad house, and it'll show Nabbit running to World 1, and it doesn't do that in here.
Yeah, it shaves a few seconds off of the cutscene.
Alright, so catching Nabbit is sometimes difficult, but this one in particular is kind of straightforward. There are some levels where it's like where catching Nabbit is like insane, and every world has a predetermined level that Nabbit's going to spawn in, and so this route that I'm doing involves spawning Nabbit in every world as early as possible, and just to eliminate unnecessary overworld movement.
After this Nabbit, all Nabbits will spawn in their level if he's not currently on the map, and then you leave a level and you beat the next 3 levels afterwards, or you die the next 3 times. You return to the map 3 times, and here's this PA corn is probably the biggest time save in
It only saves like 16 seconds over doing this level the normal way, but it's significant enough to make it worth it. You saw that I forced an 88 at the end of this level, and that's so I can get a star. You don't really need the star, but this just reduces the amount of RNG. And you can go YOLO and hope that you get good RNG, but in this category, your odds are not in your favor.
Yeah, we'll talk about the RNG we mean when we get to World 2.
Alright, so now we're coming to 1-Fortress or Tower, depending on however you want to call it. It says they call it tower in the manual.
Ooh, are we doing a manual speedrun now, or we have to follow the manual?
I mean, it says on the level, Flame Gear Tower.
Fair enough. You got me there. And we use Nabbit again for this because there's a bunch of flames.
Yeah.
And
fireproof is A+.
Very much. I used to run this game, but I mainly ran the Nabbit only %. So like, I don't consider myself an actual runner of this game.
All right.
Nabbit through and through has his own set of drawbacks.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're fighting Boom Boom.
Specifically, no
Boom Boom is the mini boss of every tower in the game, and all you have to do is just jump on him 3 times. So it's a very very straightforward fight. Which is the case for a lot of fights. As long as you fight them all the exact same way, you'll always get the same results.
Yeah, if anybody who knows what the Super Mario Bros. 3 community thinks of Boom Booms, which is not highly, it applies to this game too.
Also, you may see that cute little dinosaur up there, and that's Baby Yoshi. We hardly ever get him. There are some instances where we do get him, though.
Not in this route, actually. Yeah.
Oh, really? I thought that was still in the route. We used to, because of faster swimming movement, but I guess that changed since I last watched.
Alright, so, there's a precisely timed triple jump to get this 3rd star coin, and we got it. You're normally this level first introduces Yoshi, and you're supposed to use Yoshi in order to get the star coins in this level, but the jumping in this game is very powerful.
Yeah. Also, in the new Super Mario Bros. Series, Yoshi's just not that good. They nerfed him pretty hard. So it's not really worth picking him up. You can get the same height with an acorn.
Also now Nabbit spawned in World 5, but we'll be getting him later.
So that bonk that I just did right there loses time, but it also makes getting the 2nd star coin easier. So there we go.
Oh yeah, and this level's all like cycles because of the rising platforms.
Shoutouts to BlueX2, who was the world record holder. He introduced a ton of new strats to this category that nobody has, for a long time, have ever really thought about. And so the movement that I just did in that level is one of those new things that he introduced, and it saves 2 seconds.
Yep.
Alright, so that was like our first instance of splitting paths, and so obviously in 100% we have to do both levels. I did 1-5 first because if I did 1-5 seconds as opposed to first, then I would have had to avoid a piranha plant, which loses time in Overworld.
Yeah, this is even more cycles because he has to avoid these piranha plants. There's some cool ways that he does it, but for the most part, there was one section where he had to wait for the platform to go down.
Really important.
Alright, so we're approaching to our first castle. I'd say it's a pretty straightforward level. We have to go to a hidden pipe in order to get one of the star coins.
This one's also a bit cycle based.
Yeah, because of the swinging platforms.
Yeah, but I mean,
it's definitely easier to adjust to different cycles on this one than any other level. Because as you'll see, he doesn't use them very often.
Yeah.
That glide to the second star coin, by the way, that's like, he was really close to the death barrier.
And you do need the acorns too in order to get that star coin. There's no other way to get it.
The other way to get it is to get a P-switch and wait for its timer to run out, which, as you can guess, is significantly slower.
Yeah.
we don't do that.
And now we have our first actual different boss. Each one up until World 8 is going to be a different Koopaling. I don't remember their names, so I'm sorry.
This is Lemmy Koopa. He's going to be throwing these like bombs at you, but we can avoid them by just jumping underneath them. Like, oh, I jumped. Okay.
Yes.
Yeah, and he's a special case because most Koopalings like go back and forth like 3 times. He only goes back and forth once.
And he also He also comes out of his shell at the same spot.
Yeah. So it's definitely a very introductory boss.
All right, so we're done with World 1.
There we go. World 1's fully finished.
All right, and so we're gonna get a little message congratulating us, and then it's off to World 2.
Yeah, that's one of the nice things about 100% in. Yeah, that's one of the nice things about 100% in this game. You can like know if you've got everything just because there's gonna be a little message that's gonna pop up.
Yeah, the New Super Mario Bros. Series in general does that for each game. They give you a little message saying you got all the star coins.
And there it is.
Alright, so we're up to World 2. We're up to World 2 now. We're only going to be doing 2-1, and we're not going to be doing the rest of World 2 for quite some time, and we'll explain that later. For now, 2-1 is kind of a precise level to do. Again, that's another new strat that Blux to introduce. That ground pound followed by a slide makes 78 at the end of the level easier to get. So, you know, easier and faster. So that's what I like.
Yeah, because as far as we know, there's no major glitches in this game. This game is all movement optimization. And so now, since we're not going to get a Toad message, we're just going to go straight back to the Soda Jungle and catch the next Nabbit.
Yeah, and like you said, he won't be seeing World 2 for quite a while, so we're going to be proceeding along in Soda Jungle.
The thing about this now you got to be careful with is when we played it as Nabbit, we had to avoid all those. We could ignore all those piranha plants. This time, so you had to squeeze through them, which is a little more precise. Is a little more precise than he just made it look.
All right, so we're going to. So yeah, now we're going to do World 5. Now. This route's really like weird, and it's like it looks really complicated, and that's because it is. For a very long time, the route was when this game came out, the 100% route was originally do every single level in a world before moving on to the next world, and that's because it was like the most convenient way. Just the way that the world maps are laid out in this game, it was like the most convenient to do that at the time. And then eventually, like the game, as a whole, like died after like Ewaller got what was known as the God Run at the time, with a 2 hours and 24-minute time with the traditional route, and then 3 years later. Oh, that's not good. Hold on. That was a dropped input there. But 3 years later.
That's still definitely.
Yeah, 3 years later, I got into. I decided to look pretty deep into the 100% route, and found out that spawning Nabbit as early as possible, like eliminates like a ton of backtracking for some of the worlds. And so I ran that route for about a year, and then in January 2019. Blue X2 came into the scene and adjusted a tweak to the route to where it like eliminates a lot of the hard levels early on the run, but makes the RNG segments a lot later in the run. And then Pretends here suggested another tweak where we get even more hard levels out of the way early, and then it saves 15 seconds, which we'll explain more about that later.
Essentially now we're going to run the second half of the game first.
Yeah, which is something that wasn't seen until recently.
Alright, so yeah, so that secret exit that I got in 5-2, it normally like skips a lot of World 5, so we're already doing like the bottom half of World 5 right now.
World 5 has a sub-world, which is it's going to work out to where we can put it off until later.
And so yeah, now we're going on to the other level that we didn't do yet. So.
It's also our first vertical level, which... Actually, second vertical level. All the towers are vertical levels.
Yeah, but this time Poison Lava is chasing you, and you have to use these wigglers to bounce away from it. Or we could just use our Acorn Suit, because it's OP in this game.
Yeah.
Also, this Dark Coin was a pretty big barrier for a lot of beginning players when they started this game, because you have to keep that shell, and the wiggler will destroy it if you're not fast enough.
Yeah, it's... Yeah, that I've had problems with that coin. I can confirm that.
Alright, and so now we head on to 5- Castle.
So this next level is very cycle based, and I'm going to go for the hardest variation, the hardest strat for this level. And if I fail it, then I die.
Fortunately though, part of Iggy is the worst boss in the game. However, though, he's playing as Nabbit for a very specific reason.
Yeah, and you may think that the reason is because maybe like, oh, Nabbit can't die to the lava, but he can.
Yeah.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, so he messed up a cycle, so he actually has to wait for the cycle here.
Yeah, we didn't die thankfully, yeah, didn't press down at like early enough.
Yeah, but now we have our next boss, and this is Iggy, and he's an interesting one.
Yeah, he is. What makes him most interesting is he forces you to go through a cycle before you can attack him. All the other bosses, you can attack them and stun lock them before. However, though, as Nabbit, his magic like that, Iggy comes off the ceiling when all his magic attacks are dispelled. So Nabbit can dispel it immediately.
Yeah, so he does have to get rid of the monsters that would spawn.
And now he's just got to pay attention to where Iggy is, and then hit him before he can slip off.
And yeah, that was a good fight there.
Yeah,
that fight is semi-random, but yeah.
And again, if Iggy ran past him and caught him off guard, then he would have done a whole nother cycle of him shooting up those monsters again. And that was a lot of time.
So now we're heading out to World 6, and we're going to be doing all of World 6. World 6 really early on is really hard, because in older routes where you did World 6 as the 6th world, you would already have like a bunch of items, but now we have like significantly less items. So if I fail, then I have a lot less resources for backup.
But M-Chan, why are you heading to World 6 when it didn't tell you have all the star coins in World 5?
Oops, I must have.
This is 100%.
Forgot something then.
I give that like a 2 on the low chuckle scale.
Oh, thank you. I think that's generous. Alright, so this is World 6, and we're starting off with Nabbit because of all these fuzzies.
Well, it's mainly for the first star coin, as Mitch_SMO found out that doing this level saves 2 seconds over like we originally did this as Luigi, because we thought it was faster, but Mitch found that first star coin grab to be easier to get with Nabbit.
And it makes it really interesting with that final little jump there without having a acorn suit. You have to do a small hop with Nabbit.
Yeah, Nabbit can twirl in midair, and while it's not as good as flying, it can help cover enough distance to make certain jumps that would otherwise not be doable. Secret second star. Alright, second coin.
There's a Super Luigi climbing on that
I'm trying to do a pipe boost right there, which saves a little bit of time, but I messed it up. It barely saves anything, but it looks cool.
I guess now it's a good time as any. As y'all notice, M-Chan is jumping all over the place to get onto the flagpoles. That's in this game, like in certain Mario games, it matters where you land on the flagpole. In this one, it doesn't, because Luigi stays on the flagpole until the Bowser flag is brought all the way down. So he just has to hit the flagpole. He doesn't.
Okay, we got it. Nice backup.
Alright, so he just got a little trick there, where he had to, basically, if you fly into an invisible block, you'll only hit one of them, but he ended up messing it up in the first one, so.
Yeah, what it is as you hit the first block, it raises Luigi's hitbox just above the second one, so you can essentially clip through the Kaizo block.
Yeah. And here's the secret exit of this castle.
Yeah, and you have to do the ground pound. If you just fly up there, it won't trigger the loading zone.
Yeah, so World 6 is interesting in its routing because there's actually some overworld movement because of these colored blocks that we have to change around.
World 6 is the most complex world in 100%. This world has like the most amount of reroutes out of all the worlds in 100%.
Yep.
This world also has 2 fortresses, so or 2 towers, I mean.
Here's a quick little cutscene reminding us that Peach is indeed kidnapped.
Yeah, so these cutscenes are sprinkled throughout the game, so that even if you're doing any percent the fastest route to get to the final boss, you'll still get all the cutscenes before you get there.
Well, what it is every time you beat a fortress outside of Acorn Plains, the first 2, you get a cutscene to Peach's castle.
I didn't block click again right there. And now we're going to go straight to the boss.
Yeah, and the boss here, again, it's Boom Boom.
Yep.
But this time he has a little bit more of an enhancement.
Yep.
Yeah, so in every fortress, Kamek will power up Boom Boom to make him do something different, to make it seem like it's harder. But there are strats for every variation of Boom Boom.
This one is he has wings.
Yeah, he can fly.
Yeah, but so can we. And the thing is if you time the jump into the air just right, like M-Chan's doing, you can hit him as he tries to jump into the air and just stun lock him like that.
And some of these fights are supposed to be reminiscent of Super Mario Bros. 3, kind of like the winged Boom Boom fight in that one.
So 6-3 is very technical. We'll see how this goes.
Yeah, so he's saving that roller coaster level for later.
We messed up.
Yeah, so this is another one of those vertical levels, and it has these seesaws and these spikes, so again, kind of cycle-based.
Yeah. The important thing is at the end of the day is don't get hit, because are there any more acorns in this world?
No.
Not that I know.
Oh yeah.
So yeah, this is a very, like, crunching time in the speedrun, where we have to make sure we don't get hit.
Alright, so the next level, which is 6-4, is an autoscroller, so there's really not much to talk about for the next like minute or two. So if anybody in chat wants to ask me something, and go ahead and ask me something.
Yeah, it's a nice autoscroller with these
I
blocks,
already answered it already, but yes, this is on the Wii U. There is a remake of this game on the Switch, which is unfortunately slower than the Wii version.
Yeah, the loading times are actually slower. So.
Yeah, but it's still objectively better because it does have the best character.
And it has more characters too to run with, and you can run with specific characters instead of just Luigi or Nabbit.
What is the meaning of life is a very good question.
Yep.
42.
Dude, chat's getting deep. 42 is the meaning of life, I agree with that. Yeah, the console is the Wii U that we're playing on.
So I guess it's a pretty good thing to cool thing to talk about while I have the time is that one of the things I like about 100% is that most 2D Mario speedruns have a reputation of like just holding right and maintain as much momentum as possible throughout every level. In 100%, because I have to go out of my way to get the star coins, there's a lot more technical stuff that goes into the levels in this game. And so it actually feels like I'm playing the levels as opposed to just, going as fast as I can.
Yeah, and that's the case for like most 2D platformers. Well, at least for the New Super Mario Bros. Series, they have that reputation of just holding right, but for 100%, it's much different, like you said.
And we're gonna get the secret exit here, which requires an acorn to actually reach.
Yeah, and again, fairly good movement.
Also getting through those two platforms without getting hit by that walking piranha, also not as easy as it looks. Can confirm.
Yeah, and that is a common theme in this game. A lot of the things that you see me doing look easy, but what makes them actually hard and they look is because Luigi's movement in this game is very difficult to get used to. Luigi has slippery movement. Also, I have to jump as early as possible from that platform right there. Otherwise, if I'm too late, then I hit an invisible block and die.
And that corner right there is why we're Nabbit, and this time. The movement is very difficult in this game. Luigi has slippery movement, his jumps are higher, and his jumps are also floatier, so it's like, this game is very difficult to get used to when you're playing casually. Yeah.
Alright, so this is our first real instance where we use the PA Acorn.
Yeah, so the PE acorn here is used to climb up this tower. It's supposed to be the sort of auto-scroller where you use these platforms that you would spin on. But we skip all of those.
Yeah, skip all of them, and we get to avoid almost all of the gosh, I forget, Sumo Bros.
Sumo Bros, yeah. And this is going to be an actually unique fight to the towers. This is the Sumo Bro.
Yeah, this is the boss Sumo Bro.
This guy's a really bad hitbox, but we'll see if I can get a fast fight.
Basically, you can squeeze in between the corner of him and barely hit him after just knocking him off the platform once.
Yeah, so what I'm doing is actually like I'm attempting to go through his hitbox. You have to have a one-tile hitbox in order to go through his hitbox like that. It also works with Acorn because when you fly up, your hitbox is a little bit different, so it's small enough to actually go through the hitbox like that. But as you see, even that, it has to be really precisely timed. So you saw that I got knocked out of it a couple times.
If he can't squeeze into that too quick, pinning him down again is hard, is difficult because he'll unleash a string of thunder attacks.
And now we get the last cutscene here, where Peach turns into a big pile of cotton candy.
That's the last major cutscene, so it's pretty much all mostly gameplay for the rest of the game, which is one of the things I like about this category as opposed to 80%. 80%'s like 2/3 of cutscenes and 1/3 gameplay, so it's not super exciting to grind out. Whereas 100%, there's a lot more that goes into the run.
Here's a cool little level. The theme of this one is hit the switch, and I just like how fast those platforms go.
Yeah, and it has some really interesting mechanics, but we're gonna skip like a nice majority of them.
Okay.
Yep.
I was supposed to land on that fire bro, and because I missed, I was forced to take that save.
That was still a good recovery there.
Good. Yeah. If you have acorn suit, if you keep the acorn suit, it means you succeeded.
Basically, yeah.
Right.
But yeah, he had a little slip up there, and it wasted like a second, but he still managed to recover it fairly well.
The next level is probably a lot of people's favorite level. It's the roller coaster level, 6-6, where you have to ride on the roller coaster up the entire level. So, not much to talk about. So, if anyone has any more questions, then feel free to ask them.
The late game is very heavy on auto scrollers, by the way. So, like, we'll ask this a couple times. Oh yeah, now it would also be the time. I guess we can talk about the differences between New Super Mario Bros. U and New Super Luigi U. The levels in Mario U are longer and more drawn out than Luigi U. Luigi U, you only have 100 seconds, and they're generally more difficult than any level in New Super Mario Bros. U.
Yeah, they're significantly short, which is also one of the reasons why 100%. It takes less time is because it's just a shorter game in general.
Yeah, again, it's more of like a less thought about DLC than anything else. It's
basically
still its own
like
campaign, but
the Lost levels.
It's basically like it still has the skin and the same world, the same overworld, the same map as New Super Mario Bros. U, same level layouts, but it's just harder levels. Yeah, that jump he did there was pretty tight at the end.
And that saves a second.
It saves a second, and you have to use the momentum from the coaster in order to make it.
Yeah, now we're gonna go back and get Nabbit. We're gonna make sure we don't hit the blue switch because we want to keep the red switch activated.
Yeah, that's why I went around.
Yeah.
It saves a few. It actually saves a few seconds to go around it because if we did, we'd have to hit the red switch again eventually.
Also, I saw my favorite animation there when you're flying with Nabbit in your arms. I love that.
Yeah. My favorite is if you have a mini mushroom, you can still carry around baby Yoshis.
Oh god. Yeah, that's a pretty good one too. Alright, so now we're gonna go to the secret exit of the castle first, and the reason why is there's two entrances to the castle, and it's gonna spit him out into the front after he beats this. So he has to beat the boss twice.
This is the only boss he has to do twice, and it's only because of star coins.
Yeah, so he gets the last star coin first here, and then he'll go back in and get the other two.
This is the only way to get the third coin.
There's been like theoretical ways where we could like find a way to clip out of that area to get the last star coin with them, but like none of them have been proven.
We'd have to find a way to clip first.
Yeah, somebody said, like, oh, if there's, like, a block we can... Like, next to the wall, we can clip into that block. I don't know how they expected to do that, but there's been talk about it.
Actually, I think we may have to do it anyway, because I think 100% also counts the number of exits
I don't think it counts as an it does not count towards your exit counter.
This counts as... Yeah, I think this is the same exit, I'm guessing, because it's the same way you end the level.
That's true. Oh god.
And so yeah, there is a very unpopular category called all levels, and you don't do in that run you don't do the front and back entrance of Roy's Castle.
It's so unpopular, it's not even on the leaderboard.
Alright, so yeah, that was the back entrance, and now we're gonna see what the castle looks like on the front. So, you know, Roy's our favorite guy.
Roy's our boy.
Ow.
Alright, but the first part of the first part of this level is RNG. So hopefully we get a good block.
Yeah, so like you said, the first part is very random.
That's fine.
I have been crushed by a couple of these blocks.
You have to be ready.
Yeah, and he also has to like chase that second star coin to make sure it doesn't fall in the lava.
And then we're gonna skip this P-switch because we can just fly over.
Also, Roy, I love what you did with the place. Good job.
Anytime I enter any door in this game, oh what the heck? Anytime I enter any door in this game, I am entering all the doors in the center of the door, and that's so I can eliminate Luigi walking to the middle of the door and inside. Just animation frames.
Yeah. Up.
Yeah, so again, we're fighting Roy again, and it's the exact same fight he just did.
I could actually consider Roy to be the easiest one because I fought him so many times. I stun lock him so early, I don't know what his attacks are.
I've only seen that first cannon shot, and that's it.
Yeah, and here's the thing. I once looked up a Let's Play just to see if I could figure out what happens. And the Let's Player just stun locked him too.
Yeah, this is definitely like one of the easiest bosses. He does do the most rotations with when he spins around, but he always stops in the same spots, so it doesn't matter.
That's World 6 completed, and so that's 2 out of 8 worlds completely done. And now we're moving on to World 7 right now. World 7 is the second worst world in the run, and it's mostly because this world is very RNG heavy. This is probably gonna be the only time I'm gonna call serious time. This is like the worst level out of every category.
And confirm.
Yeah, so we'll be quiet here to let him focus. This is an intense level.
Alright, and there is a really hard jump coming up. Okay, got it. That is that jump that I just made right there is a 2-frame window. If you're too late, you will slip off and die, or if you're too early, you'll hang on to the block and you're gonna have to find a way to improvise it.
This level is a run ender for a lot of beginner runners, especially 90%.
What makes that level hard is because you're supposed to is because the level contains a penguin suit and you're supposed to use it throughout the whole level, but no.
Yeah, I always find that really bizarre that they went with the penguin suit instead of the ice flower, because the penguin suit's best attribute is it's sliding around. As far as I know, you can't slide around in that level.
I mean, you can, but you're just gonna fall to your death. But yeah, that level is really intense and very movement heavy. It's one of the coolest looking levels too.
Yeah, this level is also pretty intense too, because the second and third star coin, if you're not quick like the the star coins can get away from you.
Yeah, and he'll have to redo the entire levels if he wants to get them again, which is not good.
100%
But he
is
got
really
them, so that's
punishing
good.
in the fact that if you miss a star coin, not only do you have to go back and get the star coin, but you have to beat the level again as well, which loses a ton of time. But not only that, like you have the potential of messing up the nabbit spawns.
Yeah. Unlike the old games like Super Mario World, if you get something in a level and then select quit, the game ignores everything that happens when you entered the level, which is good for practice, but it's not good in actual speedruns.
Yeah, also this is, as a lot of people would say, is one of the hardest levels. It's just so difficult.
So kind of
Because look at this, he's running through these wigglers.
I made that little small mistake, but that's really it.
And we mainly joke about that in 90% specifically because this level is the easiest Nabbit level.
Alright, so now we're coming up to 7th Fortress, and I'm gonna do a couple safe strats for 7th Fortress because my punishment is death if I fail both of these like fast strats.
Yeah, and 7th Fortress also has a lot of RNG in the Kamek fight.
What are you talking about?
And also.
What do you mean? What am I talking about?
So yeah, you can get that first star coin like right away, but I killed that fireboat first because if I just go for that first star coin right away, which I can get, I would die if I mess up. So yeah. The second part, well the first screen that I took saves like 3 seconds, and then this next part, if I were to go big, I would have saved the second. But it's really hard to judge what the Firebirds are gonna do.
This tower in both Mario U and Luigi U is
okay. So ignore
really
what everybody
RNG
says.
oriented.
This boss is purely scripted. Great boss. Nobody has ever lost a run to this guy.
Oh, right, I was thinking of the other Kamek fight. My fault. Yeah, this one's totally 100% guaranteed.
I hope that pans out.
Look at this. He puts... These blocks are always going to be the same for you. He'll always spawn really far away from you, and then really close to you. I promise.
Alright.
Although the third spawn is always consistent. And when you hit him the second time, he always spawns in the center there, so he can lob a specific attack.
Yeah, so he can either spawn to the right, left, or center for the second time he appears. And he just happened to be right close to MJ.
That one was alright.
But again, the first spawn that he had when he appeared the blocks was really bad. And in all seriousness, like I said, that is RNG. This level right here is supposed to be hard. Not. And there's a secret exit here.
Are you gonna get? Okay.
Yeah, I get the normal exit out of the way because it's harder. And that's one of the cool things I like about 100%. There's like a few different routes that you could take. And so like it's a matter of like there's some preference involved depending on like what you're comfortable with.
Are you gonna get the second safety star?
No.
He also got he also skipped getting the first star coin because he's gonna get it with Nabbit. I'm pretty sure. You can do this the second time with Nabbit.
So
if I remember
yeah, so
correctly.
now we're gonna do the secret X as Nabbits, which is the same exact strat that you would do in 90%.
And this stays like what, 1 second over just flying down?
It's because the fastest you can get on this level is an 88.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
in full game runs, you have to wait for an 87.
Yeah, so
But again, Nabbit doesn't have to worry
so
about
that was
that.
like
So.
that was I like to call it YOLO jump, even though it's really easy to do. There's a setup for it that makes it 100% consistent, but I still call it YOLO jump because
Yeah, you
you
just
just
do a
kind of have
triple
to
jump.
get a feel for it.
Alright, so this will unlock our way to 7-Dash Castle, but we're not going to go there yet because there's even more RNG.
So, but first I need to catch Nabbit here. Nabbit spawns in 7-2.
Yeah, and he's getting these Nabbits way out of order than you're supposed to. Like, you're supposed to go to World 2 and get Nabbit there first.
That's also another thing to
ending.
note is that Nabbit will not spawn in any other level until you catch Nabbit in the current level that he's in.
Yes.
Yeah, and this forces us to actually play the level as Luigi here, which we played as Nabbit earlier.
Yeah, the game does not. The
really
game does not
bizarre if
allow you
Nabbit had to
to
catch
do
Nabbit.
Nabbit catching Nabbits, as there's only one Nabbit.
Also, it's when you catch Nabbit, you'll actually be invincible to enemies, so you can land on enemies.
Yeah,
after
you can even land on the munchers and nothing happens. Okay, we are
But you're not allowed to
doing
land in the pit.
7-4 first.
Alright, so yeah, this is completely random, and he wants to get the item box, so...
Yeah, so, it's very common in Mario runs where people do individual level splits, but you can't really do that here in this part, because depending on the RNG you get, it's like, you do 7-4 or 7-5.
Yeah, you need both stars if you wanted to do IL splits for this area. To be clear, it's faster to just play with the RNG because there's other spots to use the.
Yeah, the star that I got is not for this part. It's for later. So now we got to 7-4 first try, but it's not over. I gotta actually pray that I get to 7-5 first try. So yeah, like they said, the fuzzies spawn completely at random. But not only that, you can also lose time by what path you get. So you can save the most amount of time by getting like a straight path throughout both levels, and get to both levels first try.
And yeah, so he's respawning these levels here because
he wants the fuzzy to. He wants there to be no fuzzies on the red dot.
Yeah, which is not being nice to him right now.
Eventually there is a point where it's technically faster to run into the fuzzy, but it's just not worth it. It can also mess with your items as well. If you're not like used to your item, whichever item. Oh my gosh.
This is definitely a marathon curse thing.
Marathon luck, everybody. Yeah, this is by far some of the worst RNG I see. Oh my god.
I think ZFG's gotten 60-second try Dompe by now.
This is basically like Dompe at this point.
It used to be a lot worse when World 7 was really late in the run.
That's a straight line. I say you just go into the fuzzy.
Yeah, he didn't though.
Or not.
We could be here for a bit.
Oh man.
Welcome to New Super Luigi U, where an hour of the estimate will be us trying to get this fuzzy.
This is
like 15th try? Oh my god.
Okay, there we go, finally.
There we go.
Okay.
Was anybody keeping count? No? Okay.
No, I think that was over 10.
But that's definitely a PB for how many retries that took me.
When you post the VOD, I am counting.
I think that's a world record for worst RNG there. So yeah, that definitely would have been faster for him to just take the fuzzy. But again, it's kind of risk versus reward.
And like I said, it messes with your item menu. If you're not if like the item like gets in the way of the spot that you're used to. Hold on.
Did you forget a star coin?
Oh boy.
Oh, he can't get.
Oh, you messed up the last star coin.
Okay, that's fine.
Oh, and you also messed up the back of his ship. Yeah, so he was trying to bounce on that flame ball.
I just forgot to do a triple jump to the star coin.
Well, yeah, but I mean like the backup you were trying to do. But then it exploded on you. Alright, so now we're going on to this level, the three-headed snake walk. Again, kind of an auto-scroller, but we could skip the majority of it with the P acorn.
This is actually really important because if he touches that green platform, it will lock the game into it, lock the level into an
Yes,
so,
the acorn saves a lot of time in this level.
Yeah, so it basically makes an auto-scroller turn into one of the quickest levels in the game.
That's to all levels.
We're showing out that category again. So there is an extensions sort of category board that's on a Google Doc, but it's not actually like on a leaderboard yet.
Alright, so this level is really hard in 100%. So we'll see how this goes.
Yeah, that's not sarcastic. Really hard. That's actually really hard because he's on a tight cycle here.
Yeah, so these blocks that are moving are all on a global cycle as soon as you enter the level.
Okay, and then the second coin, I have to get it very precisely, and then I have to get through this very tight. Okay, nice. Then I gotta make this. Okay, good. Alright, we made it.
One small slip up here will result in death, by the way. Like, he literally flew into the death plane after the second star coin. That's how tight that was.
Yeah.
If he didn't,
You
like,
also have to
press,
not go too fast because
button.
you have to avoid that fire bar after getting that second star coin. So it's very specific.
Yeah. Yeah, that
Oh, yeah.
star coin, all those star coins are really tight, so that was really good.
Yeah. And having an acorn here in this boss fight changes it by a lot.
Yeah, so this boss fight, he's supposed to, like, he's gonna be flying up here and he's supposed to transform into 3 different guys, and you're supposed to try to guess which one's the actual Ludwig. But you can just fly up and hit him before he spawns any other, any clones, yeah. And then you can just hit him as he spawns like every other boss.
And we know M-Chan knows his knows the cycle for camp out at where he's gonna pop out of his shell.
So now we're coming up to 7 Airship, which is a bit of an intermission before we get to World 8. And 7 Airship has a auto-scroller skip where you have to normally ride the cloud in order to get through the first screen. But we're gonna try and skip it while collecting star coins, so it's really difficult.
It's also the reason why we're doing the second half of the game right now.
I'm gonna explain that after we beat the level, because there's more of an opportunity to do that. But for now, this is really difficult stuff that we're gonna do.
And look, Bowser's waving at us. He just wants to say hi. Alright, so Bowser Jr. showdown. This level's pretty tight.
Not the exact spot that I want that bomb to be put, but that's fine.
Yeah, so
okay,
he has to do a couple.
I'm gonna take that
jumps
safe
off
right there.
And
okay, we made it.
Yeah,
There's a more aggressive strat that I normally go for, but I was not comfortable with how that looked.
is it bouncing off the parachutes?
Yeah, in any percent, there's actually like really crazy strats people go for. But again, we have to get the star coins, so it kind of messes up the cycles a little bit.
And then here we're on an actual auto scroller, so we just don't get shot, and we go fight Bowser Jr.
And Bowser Jr. sucks, in my opinion. His hitbox is the worst.
Yeah.
So yeah, basically we just fly into him, but he can sometimes throw bombs into you while they're not even spawned, and it's completely, like, it just feels completely random sometimes.
And let's see if he gets a little time save here.
I got part of it. Yeah, that fight did look easy, but like they said, Bowser Jr. has a terrible hitbox. There have been a bunch of insane clips of various people who just like either get knocked out of hitting Bowser Jr., get hit by Bowser Jr., or just like go through him, and it's insane.
Definitely one of the worst boss fights.
Yeah, and if you don't have an acorn in that fight at all, then the fight is absolute hell.
Also, little note there. The further to the left you land on the platform after the final hit, the faster you transition to these cutscenes. So it saves a second.
Yeah, so he tried to fly as far to the left as he could. He was like one tile away from
and that's
where
because
he could be, but
and that's because
still
you want to land on the ground before the bosses before the bosses disappear, just so the fanfare starts earlier.
Yeah, and now Bowser's gonna have Bowser Jr. is gonna have a temper tantrum and head into World 8.
So now's a good time to explain why the route is like this. So in every game in the NSMB series, there is a checkpoint system with the cutscenes. So if you skip any world throughout the game, then any cutscene that's supposed to happen in a world will be moved over to whichever world that you're currently in. So you're gonna see it later, but for now, just trust us that doing all this stuff early saves 15 seconds.
Specifically, it's because there's a second airship level that we skipped over, and it's going to skip having to watch that cutscene of the airship flying in.
Alright, so now we're going back to World 2 finally. Alright, so
and now the game actually gets significantly easier. Well, depending on how tight you want to take it.
It's still easy to mess up some of the levels and lose like a bunch of time, but yeah, the second half of the run is pretty relaxed.
Also, just imagine that you're Peach and you see your savior coming to your the place where you're trapped, all just for him to shoot out of a cannon and go back to an earlier world.
She's understanding. She knows that. She knows we're hoarders.
We need the Mushroom Kingdom money. We got this. Alright, so this level is really easy when you're playing as Nabbit. If you're playing as Luigi, it's a little bit more difficult because you have to dodge all these rolls, but with Nabbit,
Nabbit can get knocked out of those, and if you mess up any part of the level, then you have a very high chance of getting crushed by some of the cycles, and it's really easy to get crushed by Nabbit because Nabbit has a 2-tile hitbox.
Yeah, but again, it's easier to do this level because Pokies can just be completely ran through.
The next level is straightforward, yeah, there's not much else to say about this level.
The only thing really to say is the reason we're playing as Nabbit is it makes getting the 3rd star coin significantly easier.
Yeah,
I guess, and the second one too.
Yeah, you need to, in order to originally how you're supposed to get to the 3rd star coin. You're supposed to defeat this piranha plant to get into the pipe, but you can just jump into it with Nabbit and it'll still be there. So.
Alright, so coming up is 2-Tower, and 2-Tower is one of my favorite levels to practice. It looks it's
also one of the
very
coolest
technical
looking levels.
Yes.
And there is a new strat that was recently found that saves 3 seconds. I'm gonna try and go for it.
This is one of the coolest looking levels because he actually makes his own cycles in a way because of the way he spins the blocks open. Especially at the end, you're gonna see that he's gonna enter the door when he's barely even touching the ground where the door
Not
is.
with the strat.
Oh, not with the strat? Oh.
You'll see.
Don't mind me.
Yeah,
I guess I had never seen this strat before then.
This
oh my god, that was so close.
Gives credit. This credit goes out to
Oh god, I've never seen that strat before. That's crazy.
Yeah, so cutting that cuts that a lot tighter than we used to cut that.
Yeah, the way I was talking about was the way we used to do that, where we took an extra 2 seconds to spin a little bit more.
And it was a lot more consistent.
But
this is
that's a way more tight.
And again, that saves 3 seconds, and that was found by Blue.
Again, Blue was definitely ahead of his time for learning a lot of these strats. He does these strats that a lot of people wouldn't go for in runs.
Well, the game's 6 years old. I'd say he's right on time.
Yeah, actually true. Never mind, you got me there.
Alright, so the star that I got from 1-2 is going to be used here. Again, you can hope that you go through this part without running into the enemies, but your odds are not in your favor. And
specifically in 90%, this is a lot of RNG.
When you're an hour into the run, you gotta pray for RNG. It's And this category has gotten pretty optimized. So anywhere where you could get consistent, is worth it.
Well, I'll be darned. You got great RNG.
Oh my god, perfect RNG. Let's go. This is the run.
This RNG spot must have heard about the fuzzies.
Yeah, exactly. They're like, oh, we need to make up for it. Let's just have him burst right through us.
It is also technically faster to skip that acorn as well, but you know the acorn came to me, so that was not in my control. But also because this category is very hard, it's in your best interest to not skip that acorn.
Yeah, and he took that save right there because he was gonna get a 77.
Yeah, which
is not good.
Yeah, like 1 or 2 seconds for an acorn is okay. 15 seconds for an acorn is only if you must take it.
Yeah, he's going to Layer Cake 6 here specifically for one reason, for when the Nabbit cutscene spawns later.
Also, this level has one of the few exploits that we know about. It's a little bit hard to see as Nabbit, but because it really shines as when you're in an acorn suit. But whenever you spin jump off of one of those rolling platforms, it preserves your momentum, and so you can get shot like halfway across the level.
Yeah, it's crazy how much speed you'll get. You kind of see it here, but again, like P2K said, if you're like using an acorn suit, you can keep that momentum while you're flying, and it's insane.
Alright, so yeah, like they said earlier, I did 2-5, then 2-6, and I'm gonna go back around to do 2-4, and this is just to eliminate having to do too much backtracking for when Nabbit spawns in 2-6.
Yeah, and basically we want him to spawn in 2-6 as we finish the castle.
Actually, I think he's going to spawn right before the castle.
Oh, sorry, yeah, that's what I mean. On his way to the castle is what I meant to say.
Okay.
So we got another very obscure secret
so,
to find.
Yeah, that one took a lot of people a lot of time.
It's like
I will say this level is so much better in 100% than it
oh
is
yeah,
in
this is
castles.
like this is one of the few levels where it's actually easier to do this level in 100% than it is to do it in like the any percent variation, because there is a sub area that you go through when you're doing the normal exit that skips like a bunch of hard stuff. All right, so I'm actually gonna do 2-secret like right now. I'll explain that later.
Yeah, it has to do with cutscenes.
Yeah.
Ooh,
Yeah, this level's
close.
pretty cool. It has ice physics though, so.
Ladders are
finicky.
Ladders are weird. Yeah, he made a very nice flight there to get to that second star coin. And yeah, there we go. That level's pretty easy.
It's very technical and 100%. So it kind of is an 80%, but in this level, those what can go wrong is either getting that first star coin the way I did it. You saw that I almost got hit, and then also those fire bros can be a huge pain when you're trying to get that third coin.
Yeah, and if he got hit on the first coin, he would have fell in the pit immediately because he would have lost his acorn.
Yeah, generally when you take a hit, you lose all your momentum.
And yeah, so now again, he's using touchscreen to say that he doesn't want to save. And now he's going to go to do this level the normal exit this time and get the other 2 star coins.
So this hidden vine is going to allow me to go through a sub area and avoid a bunch of hard stuff. So like I said earlier, this is one of the few instances where the 100% strats are easier than the 80% strats.
Castles.
Yeah.
That was real easy in 90%. You just don't do it.
Also, that's a very tight squeeze there that he did.
Yeah, it won't crush you, but if you don't get out in time, you'll just lose time just trying to get unstuck.
Yeah, and a lot of people think that's a glitch, but it's not. Like it's not like he glitches into the blocks or anything like that. It's just a.
So if I did 2- secret like right now, then the camera would have to go all the way to 2-6 to see Nabbit, and then watch the cutscene. So this is what we call camera manipulation. I found this, and it saves like probably like less than a second, and it's a Galaxy Brain strat.
Yeah, and again, it's just a routing difference.
Yeah, but yeah, here's where you see him really carry that momentum from the rolling ground.
Yeah, definitely some of the coolest movement is in this level, and it's only used
So
once,
there's
basically.
a scary strat that I'm gonna go for in 2-castle, so we're gonna see if I can get it.
Alright. Yeah, this castle's pretty difficult. It's very cycle based.
It's pretty straightforward. It's pretty straightforward. The only real issue is the second star coin, which he got right quick. It's actually in the lava, so you gotta touch the star coin and then get out of there before you get burned.
Yeah, the way you're supposed to get that star coin is get an ice flower in the level, freeze one of the dry bones, and throw it at the star coin. But no, thank you.
Oh, I didn't know. I didn't know that. I've always dived in after it.
But yeah, so now we're moving on to Morton.
Nice. So that hit right there is a very aggressive way to get an early hit. Morton's hammer has a really huge hitbox, so it's very possible to get hit by the hammer while you're hitting Morton.
Yeah, and it's really good if you have a acorn suit here, like you just showed, because you can just fly over the pokey.
It is technically faster to damage boost through the giant pokey to hit Morton, and you save like 2 in-game seconds for that. But it's slower because you have to re-equip acorn after the level, and re-equipping is slower than doing the damage boost. Anytime you have to equip an item, you lose 3.5 seconds.
Yeah. Yeah. Alright, so that's World 2 out of the way.
And it does come to attention that we used to have the P acorn for 7 Fortress and 7 Ghost House in the old route. But I found out that, you know, like 7 Fortress with the P acorn only helps to reduce RNG, and then 7 Ghost House, there's not really any major benefits with it.
Yeah, but anyway, now we're going off to the Glacier Fortress.
Yeah, so you have a choice between worlds 4.
The Glacier.
You have a choice between world 3 and 4. I'm gonna do world 4 first because it saves time later to do in world 3 if I do world 4 first.
Also, you can manipulate the acorn spawns for an extra safety acorn.
Yeah, this level's another vertical level with the bruisers.
Those barrels are so annoying.
Everything that I just did right there is a lot harder than I made that look.
That's definitely one of the hardest levels in 100%, in my opinion.
Yeah. You can do it, like, if you lose acorn, but you're gonna have a lot harder time, especially with that 3rd acorn, because a bruiser's can try to destroy the box.
Yeah.
So just don't the acorn.
In the all castles route, this world is like kind of easy, but in 100%, this level takes a twist.
Yeah, so this level, you have a bunch of penguins. And it's very interesting because you actually have to go in the path with them, and you're supposed to use a penguin suit there to freeze a penguin and glide on it. But you can do what he did and just fly underneath.
And all that was very difficult.
Yes.
Again, World 4 has some really difficult strats in it if you go for them.
Right there, I delayed. Although if I just went straight ahead, I would have ran into that penguin, and you don't want to do that.
That's time lost, and none of the prizes are really worth it.
Oh, that's not good.
Yes, this tower is supposed to be sort of like an auto-scroller, but you can skip a lot of the auto-scroller sections. But he did lose his acorn there, so that kind of sucks.
Well, the good news is that is it the next level or the level after?
So I have.
Yeah, we're gonna be playing it a little bit safe now.
I have to play the next level as Nabbits, which is a shame because the next level looks really cool. But if I hadn't got hit there.
And again, he's gonna wall jump up here, so he gets into that secret wall to get that last star coin.
You can miss that if you land on that platform, that moving platform on the right, because it does not go down. You just straight up miss it if you don't. You're not ready for it.
And it goes up really quickly, so you don't even have time to walk through the hidden wall. And now we have Boom Boom with ice physics.
Yeah. There may have been something involving K-Mac modifying him, but I don't know what it is.
I think it's just changing the floor. Honestly, it doesn't change anything else.
But yeah, we don't see that. So yeah, unfortunately, there's some really cool strats in this level, but I cannot show them off because I got hit, and I want to save my acorns if the harder levels go wrong.
Yeah, so he's gonna get an acorn in the next level that gives him one.
And this is one of the things that like separates like top runners from other people. Is just knowing it's all about 100% knowing about what to do in certain situations if things don't go your way.
It's a lot of like item planning, specifically.
Yeah, especially in like New Super Mario Bros. For the DS, there's different routes. There's like a bunch of different routes depending on which power-up state you're at and what situations you get.
Yeah, so again, this level you can do 100% with Nabbit, but it's slightly slower too.
Yeah, well,
So yeah.
It's a little strange because one of the fastest ways to move around is by running. It's also why you see him jumping up hills and sliding down hills. But even then, when it comes to gas, it's like you always want the acorn.
So there's an acorn in this level that loses absolutely no time to get, as it is on the way.
Yeah, so it's perfect timing, and you just slide into one of these flying swirls, and they have an acorn. So yeah, thankfully that one's just right in the way, and we can just grab it.
That was wrong. Okay, there we go.
Oh yeah, so this star coin was a big like trouble for me when I first played this game casually.
Yeah. Even the intended strat is not.
Yeah, you're supposed to land on the water wing, and
room.
it's like Monka S.
Yeah. Also, now would be a good time to mention, we didn't mention it when he first started doing it, but at the beginning of each level, you may see that he starts by doing a glide with the acorn suit for the most part, and that's just because it gets him up to his top speed faster.
It does not work in NSLU. That's a Mario
U.
Oh, sorry. No, I was thinking of...
Yeah.
But it does save time in ice levels, but that's only useful in 4-3.
Yeah. Sorry, I get those two games mixed up. Again, they both have the same like engine and stuff like that. So, and he uses Nabbit here because just to get to the normal exit because all these boo cycles are too painful with Luigi.
Or though to get the first, we'll need to be able to fly.
Yeah.
Alright, so Blitz 2 introduced a new strat for the secret exit, and that is getting up there with Nabbit. And it's hard. It's harder, and it saves 2 seconds. You have to set up 2 triple jumps.
Alright, so yeah, I've never seen this strat. This will be interesting.
But it's not over. I have to get the first star coin with Nabbit, which is harder.
Oh yeah, that definitely looks difficult. That's pretty insane. I've never seen that before.
Alright, so fortunately, because I have already beaten the level, I can actually exit the level, which is faster than beating the level and doing it again.
So that's a big time loss because he has to redo the level.
Yep.
But again, it's still faster than recompleting it again after getting the exit. And if he completed the level and recompleted it again to get the first star coin, his Nabbit cycle would have been messed up.
Okay, we got it this time. Yeah, that's
Nice.
unfortunate. That was more of a drop input. NSLU has a reputation of just dropping your inputs just because of how the jump physics work.
Yeah, so now we unlock this bonus level here.
Now, so again, I did both exits right there, and that's just because if I did 4-dash secret right now, to like the cutscene where Nabbit is. Hard strat in order to get the first star coin, and hopefully, I'm hoping I can get it. Got it.
Alright, so yeah, this level's pretty intense. And he uses Nabbit, which is
Well,
not a casual strat.
the Fliplesses are pretty annoying on their own.
Yeah, and you saw that he damage boosted there. He got the knockback from Nabbit off the icicle to get bounced up there. It's very hard to do.
Precise. You have to get knocked from a very specific part of the spike in order to gain enough height to.
Yeah, that is by far not as easy as you made it look.
Nope.
And the
Yeah,
backup strat is
another-
stupid, so it's very important you get that first try.
Yeah, and this will take him to World 6, but we've already gone to World 6.
Yeah. So instead, we're gonna go fight Wendy.
And we're gonna go get that Nabbit later, because we have to backtrack to World 3 anyways.
This is a speedrunner level.
Yeah, so this level was specifically kind of... I feel like this was kind of made for speedrunners in mind. You have to keep running or else those swamps are gonna hurt you.
Keeping your momentum that you get that second star coin that I just got is not as easy as I made that look.
Yeah, that actually looks really hard. I've never seen that before.
Well, Nabbit also makes it a little easier too.
As you can obviously tell, I've been like out of the speedrunning scene for Luigi U for like a year or two, so a lot of these strats I've never seen before and they are crazy.
Yeah.
Especially from what we used to do for 100%.
Yeah, basically this game is made up of these little time savers that save like 1 or 2 seconds, or maybe even less, and they all add up over the course of a 2.5 hour run.
Well, yeah, they add up to, I think, what is it, like 15 minutes now?
Yeah, something like that.
Something like that. Something
Pretty
like
crazy.
that. 100% has definitely gone through a lot of changes over the course of 2 years.
Oh yeah, for sure. And again, a lot of that goes towards both M-Chan and Blue, putting a lot of these strats into work in 100%.
Wendy now has an attack cycle. I know what it is, but it doesn't matter.
Also, those spikes on the top can actually bonk you, so if you go too high into them, they can knock you back and kind
No,
of
they
throw you
don't.
off.
No,
They don't?
No,
Yeah, they do.
If they fall
I thought
down,
they did.
yeah, but not when they're static like that.
Oh, I thought they did when they're on the top. That's my fault then.
Alright, so this penguin cycle is very different in this route because the next level after 4 castles, 5 airship, and 5 airship appears as a dot on the map. And so that actually does affect the penguin cycles.
Yeah. Well, the penguins are always on a global cycle. Like even when you unless you like pause the game to save or something like that, they're always moving. So you gotta. So like even little things like a dot glowing can change it.
Yeah, also
Okay,
dodging that
that
cooled in
is
there
the
while
fastest
also grabbing
part
the
you can catch
acorn.
Nabbit, and that requires a frame perfect jump at the start of the level.
Oh, nice. That looks really cool.
It does look really cool.
And yeah, like we said earlier, this Cooligan that he does, or that he dodges, it would trigger a fight, and he has to do pretty tight movement for the overworld to get past him.
Yeah.
Okay, so now we're actually not going to be
Cooligan.
we're going to be losing the acorn for a penguin suit. You need the penguin suit in order to do this level, but also the penguin suit saves quite a bit of time in World 3, so we're going to be keeping it throughout World 3, and that's the reason why I saved 5-5 for 4-5 for last.
And specifically why he needs it is for the last star coin to break through some blocks. That's like a wall of blocks at the end.
Oh, that's too... But yeah, no,
It's also just faster in general.
Fun fact about the penguin suit is that the penguin suit is actually faster than the acorn when it comes to just raw speed, but because there's not many places to take advantage of that, and also not nearly as many penguin suits, it's just so much.
Yeah, it's very impractical. It's more
acorn.
Penguin suit is mostly used for IL attempts.
Yeah.
All right, so that is
And
all
yeah,
of
so
World
that's
4.
World 4. So now we head back to World 3, which is Sparkling Waters. The water levels that a lot of people hate, but they're easy because we have penguin suit.
Yeah, and this is also the Sparkling Waters is now also the last of the first 7 worlds before we go and fight Bowser. We got that and a little bit of Soda Jungle left.
Yeah, so it went from being like the 3rd or 4th world that we would enter to being the 7th. Or actually, technically the last that we would enter and see this little cutscene.
Yeah,
of.
and our last Nabbit is in this world.
Yeah, so it's pretty crazy the amount of change that's gone into the route.
It used to be very standard order through the worlds, but we
again, just because
we
optimization.
dissected this category quite a bit.
Okay.
And that's why this category is very interesting, because it's not the standard worlds 1 through 8 that you normally would do. Also, nice. I don't know where the hidden Luigi is. It's very hidden in this level. It's not like it's a giant Luigi underwater.
And for anyone wondering, this route doesn't really apply to Mario U. It's a bit more complicated for Mario U, but just because you have to use different power-ups in Mario U in some of the levels.
Yeah, it only worked out for this game because a lot of the levels can be skipped with their intentional means of getting the star coins with the acorn suit, like we saw in that Cooligan level back in World 4.
Hold on. Okay.
Okay, yeah, that's a...
Yeah, so underwater, the penguin suit actually is much faster than normally swimming.
Sucks.
That's also a good reason to have it.
That's not good.
Oh, did you lose the penguin suit?
Yeah,
Oh yeah, you did.
Okay, so unfortunately that means
Good news
I have to, oh, hold on. That's fine. But the penguin suit, if I had kept it, it saves like 10-15 seconds. It's a lot in this level. This level's long.
Yeah. And it, yeah. Fortunately, there's one more that will
Yeah.
useful down the line, but
Yeah, it's a little unfortunate that he missed it, or that he lost it here.
I swam up a little bit too high, and I misjudged where the urchin was.
The good news is though is that beyond this level, the time loss is minimal because there's a lot of Nabbit coming up.
Yeah.
This level is a very perfect example of why Nabbit saves time.
Oh yeah, this level is also one of the...
Oh my gosh.
I think a lot of casual players hate this level for the final star coin. But again, Nabbit can just damage boost through all these. So I don't know if it's actually possible to get that first star coin while...
It is, that's what I was trying to do, but I missed it.
It is.
Oh, gotcha. Okay.
But it's really hard.
Yeah, it seems like it could be possible. I just never have pulled it off myself before, so I didn't know.
I've pulled it off inconsistently.
But yeah, so that final star coin, if you're playing as Luigi, you need to make sure you keep one mushroom throughout the entire level, and that's easier said than done for a lot of people. This is a good time to mention that each category of New Super Luigi U has subcategories, at least for the OG game, for where you can play as both Luigi and Nabbit, where you can play as Nabbit only, and where you can play as Luigi only. So if you want to be a pro gamer, you can do Luigi only. And it has a lot more different strats.
Yeah, I don't think 100% is possible in this game with Nabbit only because he can't take it. He can't take an acorn. But
well, some star coins are not
like
possible. Are not possible with Nabbit, and also because you can only get 4 stars and not 5.
Yeah, isn't there like 4 star coins that you can't get with Nabbit or something like that?
That sounds about right.
That's what I've heard.
And then
yeah.
Nabbit cannot catch Nabbit.
Yeah, so I feel like a max percent Nabbit would be a good thing to add to category extension. I don't think anybody would run it. And then in New Super Luigi U Deluxe and New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, there's actually categories for all of the main characters in the game.
Yeah. Also, at this moment, I cannot stress enough how much easier this level is as Nabbit.
Oh yeah, this level, those spiky fish are going to be chasing you, and to get to that secret exit is very difficult if you're using Luigi. Well, not very difficult, but it requires more.
The second star coin is probably the hardest thing to do.
There's for sure. Recently been a new strat where you can where it is faster to get that secret exit with a penguin suit, but it is very risky because it's like high risk, very low reward. You'll lose your acorn if you do it wrong.
Isn't it you slide along the water as a in the penguin suit and then just dive?
Yeah.
It looks cool. I don't think I'm gonna learn it though.
Also, that pipe he took at the beginning, there was 3 pipes he could have took, but the one that he took at the very far right just spawns him or pops him out closer to the right on the inside. And again, we use Nabbit for the normal exit because of the spinning boost cycle at the end too.
It's possible to jump in between the boos, but
yeah, I have a strat for that in Luigi only all castles, but it is hard.
Yes, I've seen that and it's intense. It's crazy.
It's intense, and Nabbit's still faster.
Yeah. So now we're gonna go to. There's 2 paths we can go. We're gonna go down first, mainly for items.
Oh, this.
Oh, sorry, for Nabbit.
Yeah, Nabbit spawns in this level, so we do this level early.
Well, this level needs to get Nabbit on the map, so that way when we do the next 3 levels, if it all works out when he comes back here, Nabbit will be here when he gets here.
Yeah, I made that like slip up because I was thinking of items. We need that penguin suit coming up. And again, getting that, using Nabbit to get that last star coin, very useful.
Yes.
Alright, so now we're gonna go back to 3 Secret, and again, this looks weird, but it's but this is just to spawn Nabbit as early as we can. And if I had kept the penguin suit, I would have actually used Nabbit for 3 Secret, so I could keep my penguin suit. Because I didn't keep the penguin suit, I'm just gonna play that with Luigi. It is faster in game to use an acorn in this level, so that's fine. There's a bit.
Also, we get Yoshi, and we're actually gonna use him now. So.
You technically don't need Yoshi, but he's pretty helpful in case like you either get hit or something happens. And it's an auto-scroller, so you might as well pick up Yoshi.
Yep.
So any questions in chat?
Another auto scroll. Don't worry, we'll have another one in like a couple minutes after this. But yeah, this is again the late game. Like the late and mid game has a lot of auto scrollers.
Okay, that's fine.
Yeah.
Someone asked, does Kamek spawn lower in Luigi than Mario?
As I know, Kamek is the exact
Yeah,
same.
it's the exact same. It's,
both games.
that also that does bring to attention, I guess. The only things that make NSLU easier than Mario U is the bosses, just because Luigi jumps higher.
Yeah.
But
Specifically the winged boom boom fight. And this will take us over to
World 6.
yeah, World 6 again.
But been there, done that. So we're just going to go back and continue on with World 3.
Yeah, so we're gonna go back to the top level
There
this
is
time.
a little bit of RNG with,
again,
with the water spouts and the cheeps, but it's very minimal.
Yeah, and again, the reason why he went and did 3-dash secret is so he could save a screen transition for when Nabbit appears.
Okay, I'm going to wait right there. There is something called YOLO cycle where it involves not slowing down, but the cycles are very inconsistent, and it barely saves anything.
Yeah, and that last star coin is you have to catch that geyser as it's rising up. Looks really cool.
Also, the other thing to note is the reason that Im-chan was jumping through the palm trees instead of running through them is those are rough terrain and kill all your speed.
Yeah.
So you want to be touching them as little as possible.
Yeah. Alright, so now we're using Nabbit again on this level. This is a level where this dragon eel is chasing you the whole time, and there's a lot of fish going around that you just want to swim past.
The good news is, though, dragon eels can't hurt Nabbit, so that so that takes a bit of it off. He still needs to work on because Nabbit, while he's not killed by urchins, he has to wait for eels to push them out of the way because he can't pass through them.
And it's possible to go through the urchin, but it takes like multiple knockbacks. And if you can manipulate the dragon eel to kill that big urchin, it's faster. It actually does
so
save
that's
a lot
basically
of time.
So that's mostly all of World 3 done, but we have to go get Nabbit first before we fight the boss.
Alright, so Blue X2 introduced getting a penguin suit while trying to catch Nabbit 3, which is not easy. This is the hardest Nabbit catch
in
the game.
Yep. I'm not gonna lie, Im-chan. When I run this category, that safety star you get, I use it here.
Yeah, so he built up specific momentum there to hit Nabbit to stun him.
If anyone thought I died, I fell in the water.
Yeah, I actually love that, where you just kind of like fall out of the frame.
Yeah.
Alright, so that's every Nabbit caught.
I actually mentioned this in World 6, but if you, when you catch Nabbit, you are invincible stuff, but if you fall off an edge, it'll say that Nabbit got away.
Yeah, you don't want to do that.
So don't go too crazy with that stuff.
Okay, so getting that penguin suit saves just a little bit of time in 3-dash castle. And again, this is a new strat again, Blue X2 introduced a bunch of new strats.
The main reason it saves time is because this underwater section here.
Yeah,
So
and actually,
that piece
because like we already did like part of World 5, like this does work out that the next item that we use is a PA corn.
Yeah.
So, like, if I die or get hit, it's really not gonna matter. It used to be a pretty big deal.
Yeah, so now we're going on to fights. I'm pretty sure this is Larry, right? I think so. Okay, good. Yes, I'm learning.
He's the last one, too.
He's the last member of the Iggy crew. So yeah, this is our last Koopaling that we're going to be fighting, and then all that remains is Bowser. That's our boss.
So if you fight him exactly the same way, he's always the same.
Spoilers.
Otherwise, if you mess up, this guy's random. Okay,
nice.
so
Good fight,
if you
good
have
fight.
a lot of questions that you have for me, then you have 3.5 minutes to do so.
This is the longest autoscroller, and this is also why we went to the airship first. We're not going to be seeing the airship cutscene. We can just enter it right away.
Yeah, doing the Moraine airship, crashing the airship in Moraine clouds removes cutscenes surrounding this level, and that takes about 30 seconds off, and then we pay about half of that time in the extra travel we have to take.
Yeah, so questions are a go. We'll answer anything because we have a while now. So, and yeah, this is just heading into World 5 again. So, someone said something about damageless. By the way, I don't think anybody's done, or at least attempted a damageless the Super Luigi U run. There's not really a reason to.
I think you would be insane to do that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And someone said something about a 1 out of 3 chance. I don't know what they were talking about.
They were talking about the
Is pretends to know the most handsome or prettiest.
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'm just gonna say yes.
Good answer.
Yeah. So this is.
If you have any more questions,
one of
feel
the
free to
longest
ask them
levels.
right now.
Yeah, that's one of the longest levels that he has to do, and now we have the boss fight.
I will say, thank goodness this isn't the Mario U airships.
Oh my god. The Mario U airships just drone on and on and on.
Also, for context, 7 airship in Mario U is 6 minutes long.
Yeah.
In game time, it is just under 5 minutes, I think.
Yeah, so this boss is actually kind of interesting. You have to lead his torpedo Teds into him, but
it's fairly
I don't know, man.
simple.
Am I gonna make it?
I don't know. It's so difficult.
Sometimes those torpedoes get away from you, so.
That is true, yeah. And yeah, now he's gonna send them vertically.
Yeah.
But there's
I need
also
a
gonna be
towel for
another
that now.
time. There's also going to be another big point for questions, specifically when we beat the final boss, because there's still more after that, but we have to watch the credits.
First, you auto-save for not being in this game.
Yeah.
That probably cost a lot of time too. So pros and cons.
So there
But
is.
then again,
You have to wait for the entire credits to end to go to World 9, which is upsetting.
actually, I will say that if it autosaved after you beat Bowser, even if it autosaved after every level, I think the reset, re-enter the game to skip the credits would probably still save enough time to justify it.
Oh, we also totally forgot. Like we said that's the last boss before Bowser. Oh, we forgot about the best boss. We still have a Boom Boom left. Let's go. Yeah, this level, when you're playing it without Nabbit, can be a little bit of a hassle, but again, with Nabbit, it's the easiest thing. There's a few strats that you win for that are pretty difficult, though.
Okay, so coming up is Tower Skip. There's normally a large block snake that you have to ride in order to like ride through the entire level, but we are going to skip that with acorn movement.
Yeah, and this is one of the most infamous skips in New Super Luigi U.
Yeah. You can also do it without a P acorn, but it is much more difficult.
Yeah.
And
also, you saw that Nabbit respawned again in World 1. You can recatch Nabbit as many times as you want, but we're not going to.
Where am I? Okay. I actually can't get the next coin.
Oh, that's
I have to,
not good. That's very upsetting.
the good news is, you could get the coin without him. It's just a lot more difficult.
Yeah, I don't know it.
The good news is that this route has 2 extra P acorns. We actually only need 1 more. So that loss, while unfortunate, is not the end.
Yeah, it's not detrimental or anything. But hopefully he doesn't do it again.
Yeah, I think I flew up a little bit, just a little bit too early.
Yeah, that's what it seems like. At least you hit the spike ball there.
But yeah, like Pretend said, the old route of NSL used to be like. It used to be a very big deal if you got hit with in a level with a P acorn, because it was routed out where you used all 7 P acorns. But you know, thanks to some deep research that I did 2 years ago, I routed away 2 levels where P acorn didn't save enough time to make it worth it.
Yeah, this the old world record of this game used to be like a 2:26 before.
It was 2:24 by E. Waller.
2:24. Yeah.
2:24. Now it's like 2:14.
Yes. Something like that. Yeah. So just in a year or two, like 10 minutes have been shaved off, which is a lot.
And also, yeah, we do not have to catch Nabbit again. The game has already notified us that we caught all the Nabbits.
Yeah. So that part of 100% is already done. We don't have to the second time.
Yeah. He just shows up now just so that post game you have a consistent spawn to get more P acorns.
In case the game gets too hard, which I don't think you would need all the P acorns.
And Nabbit spawns in order of the worlds.
Yeah, so right there, that jump that he did, he needed the star to get there.
You don't actually need it. Yeah, but it is pixel perfect followed by really precisely timed spins.
Oh, I did not know that. And also, he got a 77 there, so it doesn't matter because he's Nabbit. So
yeah,
and getting that star saves 1 second.
It saves one second, and it makes sure gives you a little more flexibility when it comes to jumping room.
Yeah, so we're heading back in to get the normal exit.
And I'm
now.
not gonna get the star this time because the star is actually slower to get with the normal exit.
Yeah, again, optimization.
It takes time to basically wait for the star, and it doesn't justify enough to make it worth it.
And again, since the door is like right here, it wouldn't really make sense to do it.
I mean, but what if he wants all those 1-ups?
I know, I'm gonna die 49 more times. Okay, so this is by far the hardest part of 100%. These next 2 levels are like the hardest levels in the game. In most other categories, you would actually skip doing this gloomy section because, you know, in most other categories, you would take the path in 5-2 to skip a lot of World 5. But since this is 100%, we have to do all the levels. So this is like the most intense 7 minutes of the run.
Yeah, it's kind of like how we skipped all of this part of World 5 the first time we visited it, but now we actually have to do it.
Yeah, and
that is probably the hardest secret exit to find.
Oh yeah, easily. And this section is completely different from the rest of the game. You actually need to get the secret exits to move on forward out of the maze instead of the normal exits. They just loop back
This
around.
is a vertical swimming level. Mashing matters if you want to make this. If you want to make some of these cycles.
Yeah, so he's gonna go ham on his controller here.
Nabbit can get crushed in this level.
Yeah, so
But that's
we didn't
about
mention.
it.
Yeah, the only thing that Nabbit can die from is pits, and then stuff like getting crushed and poison, stuff like that, and lava.
Okay, we made it out. You can die. You can die
Basically
getting that
kills.
second coin.
Yeah, that second coin, if you aren't fast enough getting out like he did, then yeah, you might end up taking an unfortunate death there.
Like that star coin's a lot easier when you're
Also,
small, but Nabbit's always a 2 tall hitbox.
yeah. Also, that giant dying Luigi is a good omen.
Okay, now we got the hardest level.
Yeah,
Oh,
so this
yeah.
level is very reminiscent of like a Van Gogh painting. It looks great, but it's also very scary in a 100% run.
Because 100% is not very popular, it's actually like really funny just seeing people come into my chat who've never seen 100% run and be like, "What is this level? Is this Kaizo?"
Yeah. I really hope Nintendo does another level in this style somewhere, or even a whole world.
I was really hoping they would do that, like another level later in the game, or at least in somewhere farther in. But they don't really. I mean, they kind of do.
There is another level in this style, but it's
It's basically the same thing.
I got the normal exit first, 'cause, it's easier, and if I mess up getting the star coins, then I can quickly retry, so I can keep my acorn. Galaxy brain.
Yeah.
But yeah, this is where
His brain
things
has
get
expanded.
hard.
Okay, yeah, this is definitely one of the hardest sets of movement here. Getting the star coins while making all these cycles with the piranha plants is a big deal.
Ooh, that's not good. Should be fine still.
Yeah, so he went out of the way to get that one up there.
It doesn't.
Too,
it-
but
yeah,
again, he had to kill time
You have to
anyways.
wait.
Yeah, so he lost his acorn, which is upsetting, but
Yeah, we gotta wait.
it's still fine.
that's what reserve ones are for, and
Nice save, by the way. Holy.
and
I don't think I've ever seen you save it like that before.
Again, that
He was really close to going back to the map to get his acorn back.
that level. Yeah, this level is like the hardest level in the run.
Yeah, you can see what happens if things go wrong. Like, you really have to improvise if something goes wrong like that.
But thankfully, there's an acorn in the next in this next level, so we can we're gonna get it from here.
Yeah, and normally you would go down to that like little boost section, but that's all just mini boss battles.
It
and
is
doesn't do
aren't
any of
okay.
them,
So yeah, in the old route before we changed the route for World 5, it used to be like you do those 2 levels and then you either like pray for RNG or go back to the entrance of the Gloomy Forest to take the path of 5-2 secret exit in order to do the bottom half of World 5. And most of the time people would do that way, even though it's slower, but praying for RNG was faster if you got good RNG. But with this route, you don't have to deal with that at all.
Yeah, so now we just go up to World 7 again because we've already done World 6 and World 7. So we can just head back to World 8 after.
I think that is probably. I think the boosts are probably the worst of all of them, of all the RNG mini bosses. But
Oh, by far. I don't think I've ever done them. Even in my casual playthrough. Like, I just skipped over them.
Someone boo at me in chat. Yeah.
Oh,
did you get a 35?
Yeah, he did.
Oh, you don't have to go to chat. Boo.
We got
But
you
yeah,
covered, man.
but yeah, now we're going to World 8.
Yeah, Yeah, so you can save a little bit of time, like not even a second by getting a 36.
It barely saves anything, but it's just cool to get.
It's bragging rights.
So,
yeah.
In any percent, that level is done as Nabbit's because Nabbit has a faster flag play animation by 2 frames, but that second coin is really hard to get with Nabbit.
Yeah, so we just get it with Luigi instead. And now we're actually doing World 8. We saw a little glimpse of this like an hour ago, but
So
now we're here.
So this normal exit I'm going for used to be done as Nabbit's, and it was really hard. But Blue found doing this level is faster to Luigi, and it's a lot easier.
Yeah.
Also, something I really appreciate about this game is that each world is based off of a food or drink, and even the final world is. It's Peach's castle.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's kind of funny. I like how they even make a joke about that. Sadly, there's not a joke for World 9, but it's just Superstar Road.
You've never eaten pavement?
No.
Alright, so if you're familiar
No, I
with New
have
Super
not.
Mario Bros. Wii, there is an infamous trick in Mario Wii called 5-4 skip. It's very this level is very similar to it.
Yeah, so this is Magma River, and it's basically the same deal as 5-4 skip, where we're supposed to ride on this bone coaster sort of thing, but it's an auto-scroller, and we don't like those, so we just skip underneath it.
It's
That's
also
easier said than done, though.
yeah, it's an auto scroller where you're getting rained on as well.
Yeah, and like you have to do all this like enemy defeating so you can so your ship doesn't sink, but that can all be skipped
Oh yeah.
by that.
Second star coin's pretty hard because if you don't have a PA coin, you have to throw a Koopa shell at it.
Yeah, and if you die there, then you lose a PA coin.
And that's the last
Very
level we're going to
scary.
get PA coin. So I have 1 extra PA coin
Yeah.
to work with.
So now we move on to this level, and
Oh.
I love the name of this level. And yeah, this level is also pretty scary with its cycles. And you... Oh no, we lost our Deathless Run!
Well, I
Well-
had already died.
We lost it.
Oh,
Yeah,
you did?
we-
Oh.
Yeah. Well, Nabbit and Luigi each have 1 death each, so let's keep it balanced like that.
It
But yeah,
balances out, yeah. I don't know, I don't
Yeah,
remember the first death.
I died in Flag Tower.
Oh, I didn't.
You're
I
right.
didn't, I didn't see
yeah.
that.
But yeah,
Oh wait, no, I did see that.
The cogs can be tricky because they mess with your momentum, and also because of how they're curved, sometimes it messes with slide along, or whether sometimes you slide along them whether you want to or not.
And even if you die in the
Yeah.
level as Nabbit, you still lose your entire power-up state because the game assumes that you're Luigi.
Yeah, so we're backtracking here to go to 8-1 now, again, because there's a secret exit that we didn't get yet. And this has some RNG in it, with how these fireballs are gonna fall down.
We didn't get a good pattern, but that only loses a second.
Okay, yeah, that's it's not the greatest RNG, but it was a decent one.
Alright, so 8-4 is very technical in 80%, and it is very technical in 100% as well.
Yeah. One thing to note is that it's also much better in this game than it is in Mario U, because in Mario U, it's this long auto scroller.
Yeah, and this is
Here-
much better.
It's a precision platformer.
It's a vertical level that, in my opinion, this is the coolest looking vertical level that we do.
Yes. I would. It's one of those things. It's like I don't know if I agree with you, but I can't think of a better example. So you win by default.
Yes, victory.
Alright, there it is. That's very hard to do.
Yeah, that second star coin there was pretty crazy. The first and second, actually.
Oh, they're all pretty. crazy, especially because sometimes you just get whacked with a fireball.
It's also very important that you're on a good cycle. You cannot go too fast, otherwise the cycles will kill you.
Yeah, and the reason we went back and did that level after we did the first set of 3 is because it just brings us up here anyways to current events.
This is elevator skip that we're about to do.
Elevator skip in New Super Mario Bros. U is one of the hardest tricks. In this game, it's actually pretty easy.
Yep.
Alright, so the second room, I have to ride the elevator for a little bit, and that's so I can set up for a better position with one of the flying bombs. In order.
Yeah, this last star coin is a little bit technical. And again, he has to tilt his controller to move those platforms.
Yeah. Motion controls! Yay!
Yay!
Yay, they're the future!
Alright, so,
To be fair, I do like aiming with them with bows, but that's it.
So,
shout out to the gamepad, which is the bulkiest thing.
The next level is the final level is very hard in 100%. Normally in 80%, like you know you can control the outcome. You kind of can here, but it's like sometimes it's just hard to kind of judge where Bowser Jr. is going to drill down.
You can. I mean, it's the same thing like with Larry. If you do the level the same way, you get the same result. However, though, because of the intricacies of having to get the star coins, it's pretty hard to do the same thing every time.
Yeah, so all the star coins are in this like Bowser Jr.
I'm going
section.
to take this next part safe. I can actually go, but it's hard to judge whether Bowser Jr. is going to like mess me up or not.
Yeah, Bowser Jr.
Like
can actually slam you
right
right
I
into the
actually
lava.
could have died.
Yeah, that was pretty scary. And again, it's not RNG, but it's like
It's
hard to tell what he's
movement-based,
gonna do.
pretty much.
Yeah.
Yeah, if your movement gets thrown off, it's off.
Alright, so coming up is the hardest boss in the game.
Yeah, so this is Bowser, and he's the final boss.
But okay.
Time won't end, by the way, after this. Well, that was easier than I thought.
So Luigi jumps really high that even without Acorn, you can just go right over him.
Yeah, fun fact. They changed nothing about these boss fights, and they probably should have.
Yeah, because at least make Bowser's hitbox bigger, at least in the first fight, because it's literally worse.
Funny you should ask that.
What do you mean? What, like he's dead? That's the end of the game. We just have to go to Superstar Road, and oh wait, there's more. But yeah, they probably took my criticism a little too seriously when I say they should make his hitbox bigger, because they just make him bigger.
Alright, so now that we defeated Bowser, it's time to save the princess, right?
Totally. We get our. She doesn't even say she doesn't even say Nabbit or anything like that. I keep playing as Nabbit. She just says, "Oh."
Okay, so alright, so spoilers. There is a second phase to this fight, and I'm gonna be performing something called Fireball Skip, and this fight goes really fast if done well. So go.
Yeah, so this is a very difficult skip that he's trying to do. Like he wants to. Basically, he saw that he flew up to Bowser's face. That skips him from shooting one extra fireball.
And
now he's going to try to stay in this clown car. Bowser Jr. tries to get back in it like twice. But you have enough invincibility frames where you can just run through Bowser's shell as he falls down. And you can stay in the car as long as you don't get hit.
Yeah, so he just has to dodge him. And then as long as he holds on to the clown car, he will win. He will shave like minutes off of this fight from the intended strats.
Yeah, this takes close to about 1.5 to 2 minutes.
Alright, and that's the fight. So
So that's the final boss, but we have 6
so
minutes.
This is not the end of the run. There, like I said in the beginning, there is an extra world, and we have to watch the credits in order to unlock the last world. So
I will say, now that we've got 6 minutes to do it, the best Peach cutscene rescue is when you do it as Peachette.
Oh yeah.
Oh god. I've actually, I'm one of those people that doesn't own New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, so I actually don't know what it is.
It's basically a Peach kissing Toadette. Yeah.
Oh, right. Never mind. No, I know that.
Also, when Peachette shows up for the second phase, Peach is rightfully confused.
Oh, that's what I was asking about, because I don't know what she would say for that. It's me!
Yeah, so this is usually the point where, like, in most cases you would use the restroom, because this is a long run, yeah.
I don't think you guys want to hear that though if we use the restroom, so we're not going to.
I guess now is a good time to kind of just, you know, give a few shoutouts and basically just talk about a few things. So I got into this game in January 2016, where like it was like right after AGDQ of that year, where I was just browsing through YouTube for some speedrunning videos to watch, and I stumbled upon Ewaller's 100% world record at the time, 224.0, and I watched through the entire thing and was really amazed by it, and I thought, let me see if I can match that. So, you know, I owned the game, so I just got into it. I didn't want to get into 100% right away because it was long. I didn't want to do any percent because it was very competitive, and so I did a mixture. A category it's like in the mix between 80% and 100%, which is all castles. And at the time, all castles wasn't really a serious category, but I did a couple runs of it. I didn't really enjoy it, so I didn't run for a while. And then later on that summer, I was, you know, just doing a casual stream, and a runner named Supernova TV came into my chat, and he asked me, and he told me like, hey, I want to get into this game. You're that guy who did some runs of all castles, right? Do you want to race me on 100%? And so I said sure. And so the next day we both planned out our race, and I learned the route for 100%. And I got a 306, so it was all right for my first run. And I had fun with in the race, and it made me want to come back and take the game seriously. And so from there, it was pretty much just competition between myself, Stash, and Supernova on who the better NSLU runner was. I was more into the grind than Noah was, and Stash was just improving really fast. And then eventually Supernova stopped running, so it was just me and Stash for a while. And then due to some conflicting issues that happened on Stash's end, he like slowly disappeared from the community, so it was just only me gunning for a world record of this game. So it was thanks to my competition that I had with those two is what kept me going.
Yeah, and while I don't run this game like at all, I've run it a bit in the past. It's still crazy to see runs of this game and see how far it's been taken down, especially 100% and all castles.
And this is not the end of the run. And what's that? Go on.
I was gonna say I got into this I got into this game because of U Deluxe, but it's been such a blast.
Mm-hmm. And it's not the end of the run, but I do want to give shoutouts to, you know, Stash and Supernova for both motivating me to like get really good, to get good at this game. I want to also shoutouts to Blex2, who is currently my main competitor since day one of New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, which came out, you know, 10 months ago, and like, you know, he and I have been trading the record currently. I currently have it with a 2:14:43, and so I'm really excited as to like how far, like especially 100% is going to be taken down, because like for a long time we thought like, oh, like this category's dead as soon as sub 220 is achieved, and then you know, then we got like 218 and then 217, 216. And then we thought, 214 is the end of it, but no, we found Like we just kept finding new strats and kept adjusting the route, and now like 213's possible, and so it's just crazy how far 100%'s gone, and it's like it's the least run category, but it also has the most amount of changes.
Yeah, and with the release of New Super Mario Bros. U Deluxe, the New Super Mario Bros. Community is like now more booming than ever. So like, if you guys want to get into running any of the games, I suggest joining the Discord.
Yeah. I also want to thank SloatheDemon for coming to me, asking if I want to participate in the event, because for over the past 2 years now, I've been trying very hard to get 100% into a single marathon, and we finally got it. And I hope I did justice with this category. This is not a very marathon safe category, and I'm really happy that I've nailed most of what I wanted to go for first try. It's not easy.
Right. Yeah, and with that being said, the credits are now done, so we can now actually continue the run.
Yes.
That is 6 minutes of credits over with.
Yeah.
It's kind of a bathroom section, like you said. Like, this is the time where you take a break, go eat something or something like that.
Oh yeah, I've had lunch. I've had lunch off of this off that break before.
And you can also move in the credits and get coins. But when you've been playing for 2 hours, you just want to put the controller down.
Yeah, and so now we have done everything, and after you complete get each star coin in each world, it unlocks one extra level in the final world. And since we've gotten everything up to this point, we have every level.
So I could get
unlocked.
that acorn. It did respawn, but because I have plenty of acorns already, I'm not gonna pick it up. All right, so we're gonna do. You can do any of the levels in any order. I'm gonna go in numeric order.
There's because of Nabbit, there's not much reason to break the order.
That was close.
Doing Luigi only, there's a reason to maybe go a little bit out of order, because if you do a fire flower in number 7 and get a fire flower in the number 7 level, you can bring it back to this one, and that makes this level about as easy as Nabbit makes it.
Yeah, and you can see that Nabbit just makes it like laughably easy.
So the next level is infamously known as the hardest level for a lot of casual players, because you have to go fast, and if you're slow, you die.
Yeah, this is a speedrun level, and it also was the case for New Super Mario Bros. U, and it carries over to this game as well.
But this one has stronger consequences.
Oh yeah, for sure. The other one I like the New Super Mario Bros. U one better, but this one is, in my opinion, it looks cooler when pulled off.
Yes. So
but yeah, it requires a lot of sliding and stuff like that at the right times.
Also,
and then there is a very precise jump I have to make in order to get the third coin.
Yeah, and he uses Nabbit, so you can just run through those spinies to get that second coin.
There we go.
So right here, you would, there's another way you can get this coin. You wait for all the blocks to fall down, and then you just go back on top of the blocks and get the coin after, but you can just skip all that by grabbing it there.
You can also just like hang it on the left edge of that, and then you'll just jump on the top of the blocks and just follow the falling blocks.
Yeah, you can. Yeah, you can actually get on top of the last set of blocks. I think it's like a second slower, but if you're not playing as Nabbit, it's a little bit faster.
You want to do that if you're not doing it as Nabbit.
Yeah.
So in the old route, we used to get Baby Yoshi before entering Superstar Road, and it was mainly because of this level. But it's not worth going out of your way to get Baby Yoshi just to save like 10 seconds in this level.
Yeah, and again, going to get Baby Yoshi requires time as well, so it doesn't end up saving too much time in the long end.
Baby Yoshi's like 8 seconds to get, I think.
Yeah, so it probably takes like 2.
Well, no, you have
that.
to go. You have to go there, which takes longer than. And then there's like an 8-second text box.
Oh yeah.
Oh, true. I forgot about the text box because we haven't gotten him yet at all. So.
Well, the text box is the 8 seconds. The going to is
Yeah.
even worse.
Oh yeah. But yeah, there we go. That's the end of the level. And again, Nabbit is very helpful there with all the enemies gone. There is only like one level we're gonna ask for serious time for, and it's the hardest level in the game. And we're actually for serious about this one.
Yeah.
Uh-huh. Totally agree.
Yeah, it took me years to do this level. But anyhow, this level's not that bad. Hammer Swing Hideout. Or
This one's an
Hangout.
auto-scroller.
Yeah, yeah, this...
Doing this level as Luigi
Yeah, this one's-
saves like a second and a half at the very end.
Yeah, it's
he
pretty
can-
cool because you can actually enter the pipe before the pipe appears on screen.
Well, it has to be like a
you
certain
can
point because the pipe has to actually spawn. But yeah,
Yeah.
Other than that, this level, there's not much to talk about for this level besides avoiding all these guys.
Yeah. Out of all the vertical levels, this one is not the best.
This level was another route. Was another level where in the old route you'd pee acorn, but there is really no reason to do that.
It doesn't help.
Okay, that
I mean-
is what they were talking about earlier, right there. I got into that pipe a lot earlier.
Yeah, so you can see that like he wasn't even on the screen when he went in the pipe. He just had to wait for it to spawn and be physically there. It saves like you said, like a second and a half maybe.
This next level is pretty interesting. I actually like the concept of this level.
Alright, yeah, so this level is really cool where the blocks appear underneath you as you're going throughout the level.
Yeah, and then
This kind of like.
and then you gotta get
Oh, sorry, go ahead.
That was okay.
out from them pretty fast too, because they don't stay.
Yeah, and this I call this level the Super Mario Maker level because it's kind of like someone's building a Mario Maker level underneath you. Even though this game came out before Mario Maker, but
And then
Alright, there we go. Okay, so coming up is
Yes.
the hardest level in the entire game. I have
oh my
I
god, we're
have
gonna be quiet.
spent
I can't.
maybe like 60 deaths on this level on my first playthrough, and I've tried to look up the best strats, but Firebar Sprint, it's gonna blow your mind.
Dude, anything under 10
Serious
deaths
time.
is beyond incredible.
yep.
Alright, we're gonna be quiet here. Oh my god, the madman.
Okay, we made it. Woo! Woo! Oh, my
my
god,
God.
how did I do that?
A legend, everybody, a legend. So that's, in all seriousness, that's such an easy level when you're playing as Nabbit, but a lot of people find this level really hard when you're playing as Luigi, but it's just
Yeah,
timing
you
based.
you have to time when you start running.
Yeah, so that's one of the easiest levels done. I just
this
read
next
that.
level-
This is what you
The next
posted in
level,
chat.
this next level also blows your mind.
Yeah, this level's pretty cool. This one's called
Yeah.
Cloud Capers.
Yeah,
Like, you're supposed to use a fire flower in order to do this level.
But
Right.
Nabbit can just go through everything.
so it's still a little bit harder than
Then the
Man,
hardest level in the game.
yeah, because you do run the risk of missing the cloud.
Yeah, and you're seeing here that he's actually switching clouds because the clouds will run out if you just keep on one for the entire level.
And this is the last level we're using Nabbit.
Yeah, so the rest of it will all be Luigi. Well, technically not just Luigi, because I know what you like to do on the last level.
Alright, so the next level is called Impossible Pendulums, which probably means there's no way for me to beat it.
Yeah, this level is also impossible. Just World 9 is too hard for us, God.
Sounds legit to
All right,
me.
here we go.
But yeah, this level, in all seriousness, I found this level to be pretty difficult my first time through.
Yeah, this one is fairly difficult, but
Okay, so that
not
damage that I
impossible,
took
like
right
they
there is
say.
intentional, and we're about to do another damage boost later.
yeah,
And the damage boost doesn't make any difference because in the last level that unlocks after you beat this one, you get another acorn suit. It's actually needed to beat the level coming up.
Alright, there we go.
And this is a good time to mention, time is coming up in like a few minutes. Like a minute or two, actually.
Oh, let's see here. It's gonna be about 65 seconds for the level. And then it's gonna be like 10 seconds. So yeah, it's about a minute and a half, 2 minutes out.
I'm pretty sure it's on a text
Yes.
box, right? I forget which text box though.
It's on a text box. After he beats the level, there's gonna be 2 text box. Time is on the second text box.
So this is the last level. It's it's not like as hard as like most of the levels that we went through, but it's still a level that you don't want to snooze on when you're at the very end of the run, as you can still very much mess up here.
Yeah, and this level does not let you play as Nabbit, by the way. If you press ZL, you play as your Mii like he's playing right now.
Something that a lot of people do.
Yeah, fun fact. That is not true for the deluxe remake.
Yeah.
You can play as Nabbit in this one, yeah.
And this level's impossible as Nabbit.
Also, fact as Nabbit in this level. Don't.
Literally. There are some Nabbit speedrunners for deluxe, but again, like we said, 100% for Nabbit is basically impossible.
So again, thank you to everybody, to Completithon for letting me run this, and we're about to approach the end of the run now, yeah, thanks for letting me participate, and oh, actually, first off, yeah, there we go.
Yeah.
That's your save. That's your
there.
save the animals. All right, so yeah.
Yeah, if you stand there, he actually like faces this the camera, which is nice.
So time's coming up within like 10 seconds from now.
Nice. This is a sub 219.
Yeah. Time. All right. 2:18:41. All right.
GG.
All right.
Sub 220.
So yeah, thanks everyone for watching. And up next is Link's Awakening. And yeah, I'll see you guys on Link's Awakening. Thanks for having us.
See you guys.
Thank you.